Hi there, this is Steve Hopkins, your head coach, and this is Crisis Within a Crisis. All right, and we're talking about the challenges that can happen when we need to pivot. All right, rebuffing that failure that we've had. All right, in crisis, we are having to action and move, and sometimes the things we try don't work. All right, remember, it's not about having all the answers before we move. It's actually about refining the solution as we go until we reach the solution we're looking for. All right, and we've done a three-part series. Today is the third part of this. Remember, we've talked about laying the foundation. We talked about the mechanics of actually determining the shift, all right, what the pivot is. And today we're going to talk about measuring, all right? And really, this is the simplest and the hardest step in this process, right? And the simplest because really, what are we doing here? Anything that we create and roll out, we just want to measure, okay? So whatever we decide to pivot on, whatever we decide to change from before, go through a modification to make better and launch it, we just need to measure, all right? We need to measure what the outcome was. And remember, way back in the first video when we talked about laying the foundation, remember, it was, what was supposed to happen, all right? That's exactly what we're talking about here. So we constructed the pivot, rolled it out, and what was supposed to happen, let's measure for that, all right? That's super important. So, I mean, it could be a size, it could be a speed, it could be a quality, whatever the case may be. It could be affirmation from the team, acceptance, any of those things, all right? But whatever that pivot was, we want to measure that. Very critical. Why is this the hardest step? It's hard to measure things we failed at, quite frankly, right? I mean, who signs up for that? It's like really, really hard. You're demoralized, it's kind of an ego hit, if you will, to have to focus on the things that we missed the mark on and analyze those things, okay? So we just have to dig in and say, hey, this is part of the process. There's no shame in saying we're getting closer, but we're not there yet. All right, and how far are we, and what parts aren't we there yet with is measurement, and so important that we construct that so that we're not just guessing and it's yes or no, and that way we can use that information and be a little bit closer when we cycle back and do this process again, going back through number one, all right, laying the foundation again. So we missed, after we measured, we missed the mark. What was it supposed to do? What did it do? What do we want to keep? What do we want to change? All right, go through that cycle again, and then use our information to say, do we need a complete rebuild, or are we just kind of tweaking and deciding, what that shift is going to be, what that next formulation is going to be on the pivot, all right, and then measuring that one again, all right? So it's just a three-step process, and going through the last one is very, very critical. Putting these together, you can do these at speed. You can tell the team what you're going to do so they don't forget any steps, and you can lay the expectations that we're going to cover 3 blocks, and we can do it in real time. I could have a group that's in the post-assessment, another one that's going to analyze a pivot after they get that handoff, and somebody else is going to be involved in measuring. However you want to construct it, we just don't want to miss one of those steps, all right? So hopefully that's the tactics of pivoting. And I hope these 3 things have been very, very helpful for you. And we'll talk about some of the other things built around that, resilience and endurance and some of the team speed issues that come with pivoting. But these are the mechanics of them, and hopefully that's been helpful. I'll look forward to seeing you on the other side of the river.